Oh yeah! Mickie Kennedy here from eReleases.com with today's installment of Ask Mickie. A potential customer asked me whether a service that charged $38 to blast his press release out to 50 free press release websites was a good use of his money. And the difficult thing here is I charge $399 to send out a single press release. So it puts me in an awkward position because I have to explain to this person that $38 for what he's doing is an absurd waste of his money. And yet $399 is a great investment. Now I'm going to walk you through the pitfalls of free press release websites, and I want you to realize that free press release websites can actually turn out to be the most expensive diversion that you can actually encounter online. With e-releases, you are reaching subscribing journalists. Your press release goes over a Tier 1 newswire. That's Pure Newswire, the largest and oldest newswire of press releases. It's the place from which most journalists look for stories when they're hunting down press releases. And for that reason, you want to be sure that you're included. With e-releases, you get 100 extra words. You get a free e-newsroom. You get SEO enhancements. And you get WireWatch proof of distribution showing your press release on as many as up to 200 different websites. So that's real value. Yahoo News, check. Google News, check. It's included. Every press release on e-releases is not only posted on Yahoo News, it's streamed on Yahoo Finance, whether it's finance or investment related or not. It is a huge distribution. Every single press release can also be found on Google News. You might ask, what about web searches? Well, you're covered. Every press release on e-releases will show up in Google searches, Yahoo searches, Bing searches, you name it, it's covered. And it's not just the press releases on e-releases, it's actually press releases that are posted on Pure Newswire and all these hundreds of other websites that have picked it up. So you're getting a lot of different inbound links and a lot of different avenues for you. Best of all, the places that these press releases are hosted on are places that people actually visit, including journalists. Free press release websites, you don't see journalists visiting them and looking for stories. And if you visit a website like freepressrelease.com, you'll see the quality of the press releases, and that there's a lot of garbage there, admittedly. Search engine visibility is very important, and that's why we include SEO enhancements. We've got social media, bookmarking tools, and other things like that. While I personally don't think that they should be the focus of a press release, we do recognize that these are things that people want. But those in and of themselves are not the most important aspect of a press release. What is actually reaching the media. And if you want to do that, you're going to have to ensure that your press release is on the newswire. Every press release submitted on e-releases is sent to subscribing journalists. These are journalists who have a relationship with e-releases. In addition to that, as I already mentioned, it goes out to Pure Newswire, which has a connection to almost every newsroom in this country. One of the things to keep in mind when you're doing a press release is that a visitor isn't always a visitor. For example, on these free press release websites and even some low-cost websites, you have visitor counts and things like that. And what you don't realize is that these websites make their headlines available in RSS feeds. So a robot that'll pull the latest RSS feeds will maybe pull 50 of the most recent headlines. Your headline is one of them. That counts as a visitor, even though a human never saw it. So numbers are very misleading. There's also the ideas of having iframes at the bottom of the page. When that loads, that's counted as a visitor, even if the person never scrolled down and looked at the press release or scrolled down and even saw your website. The only true number and metric when it comes to press releases is whether you get media pickup. And the fact is, it's not very easy to get media pickup, especially with a single press release. But it is something that's hugely attainable and something that does happen every day. The one way to guarantee media pickup is to continue to issue press releases and to be sure that your press releases are reaching journalists. And that is by sending to subscribing journalists, but more importantly, being on a newswire. I mean, it's the place from which most journalists are seeking out news, and if you're not there, you're not going to get picked up. The resulting traffic and sales and buzz that's created from true media pickup can be transformative for a company. So you definitely want to make sure that you're taking advantage of that. In addition, backlinks to your press release. As I mentioned, you can get up to 200 links back to your website and your press release almost immediately by hitting PR Newswire. It's got relationships with online databases and websites, and we send you a report, we call it a Wire Watch report, that'll show your press release on up to 200 websites. If you do a Google search of your headline, you'll actually find, in many cases, it'll come up to 300 or 400 different websites that picked you up. So those are just a few things about e-releases and the goal of what a press release should be. A free press release almost never is going to get you media attention. I've never heard of a person who's been picked up in the media from a free press release website. The biggest problem and the biggest cost with free press release websites is time. I see many people will take their press release and submit it to not one, not two, but whether it's 50, 200, 300 different free press release websites, and they're investing a lot of energy and time, and in some cases money, in this instance where the potential customer was about to spend $38. And that's money wasted, but even more importantly, it's time wasted. And there are people who go through that experience, nothing happens, and then they feel that press releases don't work. Free press releases don't work. Unfortunately, reaching the media, you have to pay for that investment. There is, direct feeds, there's websites, there's satellite broadcast feeds that newswires have in place. And, for that reason, there's a cost. And if you're not paying for press releases, you're not getting the true benefit. Another thing about free press release websites is largely they're a repository of free content in which pay-per-click ads, Google ads, are put on there. So what you're doing is you're providing a billboard in which your competitors can then have their ads placed on there. I mean, it's brilliant for the pay-per-click companies and for the free press release websites, but for you, it's not. The sad reality is that many smart entrepreneurs, the ones who really value their time, will never try press releases again after playing the free press release game. And so I want you to realize that, e-releases is $399, but it's a wise investment. Nobody comes close to what e-releases provides for the money. In the end, free press release websites are extremely expensive and a diversion. And I hope that explains a little bit about the difference between free press release websites and e-releases. And I look forward to answering any questions you have. You can ask a question by emailing askmickie@ereleases.com. And I look forward to answering your questions here in the future. Thanks a lot.